All right, we're going to go ahead and start our media availability with Johnny Sauter, driver of the number 98 Smoky Mountain Curb Records Toyota. Johnny, you've been fastest in both practices today. You've had 2 career wins here. Talk a little bit about your truck this week and the success you've had at Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, I mean, there's no question. When I look at the schedule, I always look at both races at Texas for myself and for ThorSport. As a place that, you know, we've ran great for whatever reason over the past 4 or 5 years, and 2012 was obviously really special with the sweep. But just looking forward to coming here. I love Texas, always have, and it's a good atmosphere, good people. So, having said all that, our Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff truck this weekend is orange. So, pretty bright, pretty cool looking. A lot of people have been commenting on it, and I think it looks pretty cool myself. So, a little bit different look. So. It's a brand new truck too, to top it all off. So that's something that, you know, hasn't seen the racetrack till we got here this weekend, and you're always kind of reluctant. You don't really know. I mean, everything that you can perform at the shop and study at the shop showed that it would be a pretty good truck, and so far so good. It's you know, you don't really know who's done qualifying runs and who hasn't, but for the most part, we've had decent speed, and I think we need to get a little bit better on the long run if we're going to contend for the win tomorrow night. I think there's a handful of trucks that were just a little bit better than we were, and having said all that, I think we got a pretty good base to go back to through the notes tonight and have a good plan for tomorrow.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start back here in the back. If you can please state your name and affiliation.
Hey Johnny, Toby Christie, RevingsRacing.com. First off, have you had a chance to talk to Timothy Peters after last week, and do you kind of want to explain what all happened there for some of us?
Yeah, you know, it's just I haven't talked to him, and to be quite honest with you, there's really nothing to talk about. I'm more focused on just trying to finish the season strong. We've had a couple bad weeks where you know, we just had some engine problems, not from the engine manufacturer, just some things that were out of our control, and you know, last week was just Martinsville, and I'm not really worried about it, to be completely honest with you. You know, in the heat of the moment, you get fired up, and you know, I kind of get fired up sometimes. So, having said all that, it's whatever. I'm good with it, and we just need to focus on finishing the season strong, and I think we can do that. Really good racetracks for us.
All right, we'll go over here.
Jerry Fairley, Dallas Morning News. Johnny, with 3 races left in the schedule, can Crafton be caught?
I think anything's possible. I don't know exactly. I think his point lead is somewhere around 20. So, yeah, I mean, 3 races is a long time. I mean, it's really not insurmountable by any stretch of the means. Obviously, I think we're eliminated, but I think Blaney is second, right, and Bubba's third, and I don't know what exactly Bubba's spread is, but from what I've seen out of there, Blaney and Bubba, they're both running really well, and they're finishing strong. So I think Blaney has one of the best trucks here that I saw as far as the lap time average. So obviously I want Crafton to win the championship because we're in the same camp at ThorSport, but you know, those guys are solid week in, week out. They're very consistent, and you know, and if they continue to do what they've done all year or for the past 2 years, probably not going to catch them, but you know, anything is possible. It's just 3 races is a long time. A lot of things can go right, a lot of things can go wrong. So they just it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out for sure.
Come up front to Kenny Bruce and then back to Chris Knight.
Kenny Bruce, NASCAR.com. Johnny, how difficult is it? I mean, if you're fast out there today, but you're not going to race under these conditions because you're going to be racing later in the day. How much do you actually know about what your truck's going to be like tomorrow night?
That's a $1 million question. If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire time and time again. But that's a tough deal. You know, I think last year we practiced later into the evening, and it was a little bit more indicative of what we were going to have come race time. But not only did we practice in the day today, but we got nationwide cars and cup cars going to be on the racetrack tomorrow. So the racetrack's going to change tremendously, especially as far as, you know, the rubber and racetrack and things like that. So it's really a guessing game. It's really hard to sit here and tell you. You know, my crew chief asked me the same thing no more than 20 minutes ago before I walked over here. Well, what do you think? It's like, I don't know. You know, we were a little bit free on sticker tires and a little bit tight at the end of the late run. So It's going to be a challenge, there's no question. You just have to go for comfort. I think not necessarily race the stopwatch or the speed. A driver's got to be able to just say, okay, it feels good to me. You know, a couple clicks here, a couple clicks there on a shock or whatever, a couple quick adjustments, we can, you know, get the feel that we're really looking for tomorrow. But it's tough. I mean, and to top it all off, I think we've only got 6 sets of tires this weekend, and you have to turn in the set today after practice. So it's really hard to sit there and say you're going to put 2 sets of tires on in practice today as well. So we committed to running 1 set the whole time, and so we could just in case for a rainy day we'd have stickers tomorrow. So having said all that, it's really hard to start off green on the racetrack, green racetrack, new tires, and you know, run 40-50 laps like we did today, almost a fuel run. The racetrack's been changing, it's hot. Tomorrow we're going to race under the lights. There's just so many things to try to counter, you know, to figure on, I guess, and whoever guesses right is going to be the guy or girl.
All right, we'll go ahead to Chris Knight.
ChrisKnightPitchments.com. Johnny, you finished 7th here in 2011, then went on to win. Finished 7th here in the spring, and now tomorrow you're going for your 3rd win at Texas Motor Speedway. Does that mean anything?
No, as much as I'd like to think it does, I don't think it really matters. You know, setups and tires and things have evolved so much over the past couple of years. So it's the same old deal. You win a race in June and you come back a few months later and people think, well, you bring back the same truck, same setup and everything, and it just doesn't work that way a lot of times. But I know the year we won both races here, we had, you know, pretty different sway bar geometry and you know, different spring rates and things like that. So you just, everything changes all the time, it seems like, and it's only a little bit here, a little bit there, but you know, the aerodynamics is completely different from what they were a year ago or 2 years ago in 2011. So I'd like to think we could win. I don't think we can, but there's just a lot of things you have to counter in, and I guess I'm not superstitious enough to believe in the numbers.
It's Halloween tomorrow.
It is that. There's no doubt about that.
And I'll piggyback on Kenny Bruce's question. Last year you guys practiced at night. You guys did the same thing at Phoenix last year, but next week at Phoenix you'll do the exact same thing you did at Texas. How much of a game changer is that for the teams?
Well, I mean, it's everything we just talked about, really. You know, the racetrack's obviously going to change from day to night. I don't know that Phoenix will change as much as Texas will, but you know, you practice in the daytime. You know, speeds typically are a lot slower, so you won't see as much load, maybe sustained load over a long run. Like tomorrow night, I would suspect the racetrack will be faster and have more grip. The lap times you're running today, you probably won't see those lap times tomorrow night for us. So. And Phoenix will be the same way. It'll just, you know, everything's a little bit slower in the daytime when the racetrack's hot and everything. So that's why the crew chiefs are what they are. They're the guys that ultimately have to take the driver's input and look at things, look at tire wears and things like that, and calculate it out and try to give the best package that they possibly can.
All right. We're now joined by our points leader, Matt Crafton, driver of the number 88 Goof Off Menards Toyota. Matt, I know you visited Roanoke Elementary School this morning as part of Texas Motor Speedway's Speeding to Read program. Talk a little bit about your visit.
It was cool. Just go talk to the kids, especially now that I have a little girl, and see all the kids from kindergarten to, I think it was up to 3rd, 4th grade. So, I mean, they a bunch of smart little kids. It is amazing to just see the amount of books that they read. Some of the ones that, like in 1st grade, they read 200 books in it. I don't even know if it was in a year. I mean, I can't even imagine reading that many in a year. I can't imagine reading that many in my life, but it was pretty amazing to see what they've done.
All right, we'll open it up to questions for both Matt and Johnny. Stan?
Stan Creekmore with Competition Plus. Johnny, given all the changes that you expect in the track, how close do you think you will be tomorrow night to be able to get out of what you need to capture the win?
Well, it's a lot of it is, for lack of a better way to describe it, is a guess. I mean, I've raced here enough, so I feel like I can lean on myself a little bit past history-wise, and like I talked about that feel. I don't necessarily worry about stopwatch and lap times. It's a feel thing. If it feels good to you, or to any driver, they can drive at that pace all night long, and that's ultimately what puts them in a position to say that they can go on and win the race. So, having said all that, I wasn't totally satisfied with the field that I had. So, for me to sit here and say that I think tomorrow we had the field that we need, we don't, not yet. So, But I have to go back and talk with Jeff, the crew chief, and the guys, and just talk about stuff that we think we know, and that we can, you know, when you practice, you ABA a lot of things, you try different stuff, even though it might be slower, it gives you a direction or an avenue. So I think it's just whoever gives the best, you know, input and makes the best changes is, you know, the guy that gets it right. And tomorrow night you'll see, you know, who did it the best.
Thank you.
Do we have any additional questions for Johnny before we let him go? Okay, thank you, Johnny, for joining us. All right, we'll go ahead over here to Jerry.
Yeah, Matt, it's Jerry Fraley from the Dallas Morning News. Does past experience help you be comfortable in this situation, leading with 3 races to go?
Yeah, absolutely. I know from last year to this year, I'm a completely different person. At this point last year, I don't know if we had a 40, 50 point lead. I have no idea what it was, but it was huge. And I still had a lot of sleepless nights. And right now, it is what it is. I'm just going out and trying to win races, and I haven't even, I mean, you're going to look at points, okay, he's this back, but I'm not worried about it. I haven't woke up one time in the last 3 months and even thought about points. I can promise you that. And just said, God willing, it'll happen. I said, if we have the right luck and we know we got fast trucks and I don't make any mistakes and we don't make any mistakes as a team, we should be able to do it.
All right, we'll come up front to Kenny Bruce.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Matt, I was going to ask you a similar question on that, but do you, when you look at the guys that are close, I mean, you know, Blaney's, I think 18 back, Bubba's 22 back, do you see either one of them being like one of the guys that you have to watch more than the other one, or are they both, you have to kind of watch what both of them have done? And I know Bubba's had like 3 really good weeks.
Yeah, I know both of them are going to be fast because both of them are in the position they're in because they're fast. But if you just look at Darrell's team, I mean, they've been on a roll here lately, and they've been very, very fast. And when Martinsville, and it is what it is. Talladega before that, all the mile and a half, they've been fast. But at the end of the day, we keep them in our sights at worst case scenario, or keep them in the rearview mirror at best case scenario. We should be fine. But like I said, I think right now that's going to be one of the tougher teams.
All right, additional questions?
Stan Crickmore again with Competition Plus. Other than learning to sleep instead of worry about everything, what is the second biggest thing you learned from last year that has helped you this year?
Period. Not worry about it. Just go race to race. I mean, last year, I thought about how many ways I could lose it. And this year, like I said, I haven't even remotely thought about it. I went race to race. From starting to Daytona to running this race here at Texas, I went just race to race. And that has made me a completely different race car driver, completely different person, and how to deal with it. And that's, like I said, because I've got the one under my belt now.
And I should have said to you, do you believe that advances your ability to move further up in racing?
I said, it is what it is. I definitely would never take a step backwards. I know I can go win races and championships with Duke and Rhonda. I said, I would never even think about trying to go run a mediocre nationwide deal and run 15th to 40th if that's what you're asking.
No.
I said, that's not even thought. We got a great home with Duke and Rhonda Thorson and Menards. I mean, they've been with me, I think, for going on 13 years, 14 years, so I'm very happy where I'm at.
Okay.
Matt, ChrisKnight.com. I know you played the same song all year long, not worried about points, not think about points. But when you get to Homestead, will that change?
Nope.
Won't.
No. I mean, because at the end of the day, I got to race my ass off because you're racing. I said, even if I've got a 30-point lead, I'm not going to worry about it if I got a 2-point lead because I know that 51 truck is going to be one of the trucks I got to beat for the Owners Championship. And I've got major chip on my shoulder to be able to win that Owners Championship because we lost it last year because somebody drove us in the fence off turn 2. So at the end of the day, I'm worried about driver's points, don't get me wrong, but majorly want to win that Owners Championship.
Just because of everything that Duke and Ron have done for you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know what it was when they lost it last year because a certain person ran me in the fence off turn 2, and that, at the end of the day, that's what made us lose the Owners' Championship.
I know this is a difficult question, but with your teammates Jeff Burton and Johnny Sauter, how much can they help you at Homestead as far as setup wise or advice or whatnot? Will you lean on them at all if their trucks are handling a little bit better compared to yours, or will you just stick to your game plan and work with your team and do your thing?
We'll stick with her on. I mean, I'm definitely, I mean, you're gonna, if we're way off, I mean, you're definitely gonna talk to your teammates, but we've been pretty good. I've got a great relationship with my crew chief, and I mean, all the guys, we believe 100% each other. There's been a ton of races where we have just been not the best at races, and we always seem to come out, the harder we dig our heels in, the better we turn out, just because we believe in each other so much. So if we just keep doing what we're doing, we'll be fine, if we have the luck.
Any final questions from that? We'll finish up with Kenny Bruce.
Not to look too far in the future, but I mean, you've seen a lot of really good drivers win titles in this series through the years. Do you think at all about the fact that you could become the first one to win back-to-back titles?
The only time I think about it is when you guys bring it up. I mean, it'd be cool to say that I was, but at the same, I haven't really thought about it. And when media and when people bring it up, that's the only time I think about it, to be honest. And if it does come about, we'll figure it out after home.
Are you surprised no one has?
Yeah, it shows the level of the competition in the truck series, to be totally honest. I mean, you don't have all the cup affiliated teams that you have in the nationwide series that just go out and dominate the nationwide series and destroy everybody in the owners' points. You have so many good teams that don't have all the cup affiliation. That's what is so good about the Camp World Truck Series. It's about the guys that are, I mean, racers, the owners that go out there and do it because they love to do it.
All right, thanks Matt for joining us, and good luck this weekend.